Hello everybody, I will present you here the Shade-to-Advise tool. This is available online at www.shade2advise.org. When you go to this address, you will find the website that you can see now with three pages here. The first one, the About section, presents the tool. So in a few words, it's a tool to help farmers select shade tree species based on which ecosystem services they provide, and the database behind that has been built in different studies based on farmers' local ecological knowledge. You'll see more in a minute. There is a little section for people who would like to contribute to the tool and expand the database. Here, the method is given here. A few contact people and a legal notice, because we deal with farmers' local ecological knowledge, so we want to do it the right way. On the third page, you'll find a map of the different studies that were done following this methodology. There were 2 in Central America, 5 in Africa, and 3 in Southeast Asia. And well, you'll see there are mostly studies about coffee. There is only one or two about cocoa here. And when we zoom in, so for instance in Southeast Asia, there is 1 in China, 1 in Northwest Vietnam, 1 in Laos. When you click there, you'll have access to a link to get the documentations behind the study. So it can be a scientific paper, it can be a master thesis report. Well, it depends on what's available, but you'll have documentation to describe the study, where the data comes from, and to give you more in-depth knowledge of what's behind that. So you'll see different links to different scientific articles, for instance. And so we have all these studies here, in total 10 now. And all of these studies can be, the data can be found in the tool section. So for instance, the study that was done in Cameroon, here you'll have the access to the data set. So in a few words here, the principle is, we say the choice of tree species will depend first on local context. It can be you don't have access to the same tree species depending on which country you are, which region you are. So that's why we have a bunch of local studies. And then another criteria for selecting shade tree species will be what do farmers want to do? What do they want to achieve with the shade tree species, with the shade trees? Do they want to improve coffee production? Do they want to get additional revenues? Do they want to preserve biodiversity? Whatever. There are different things like ecosystem services, notably, that shade trees can provide, and they're actually not the same also depending on the different regions. Maybe in Cameroon there is a specific disease on cocoa that does not exist in other countries, so there will be a specific impact on this region. So what we do when we do a study is we ask in one area, what are the ecosystem services that farmers care about? And here in Cameroon we listed 8 ecosystem services, and then we ranked the tree, we scored the trees for their provision of these ecosystem services. So for instance, if a coffee farmer wants to improve coffee production, we'll see that the albizia tree is the one with the highest score, meaning it will provide the most of this ecosystem service. And then you get 2 other tree species, pretty good, a fair number that are all more or less the same. So 3 species are the best here. But that's not enough. Maybe the same farmer wants to get coffee production, but also food provision and timber from the shade trees. And because each tree species has scores on all the ecosystem services, we can add them up and actually check which trees provide the best trade-off, here meaning the best sum of the different scores. So here we see that actually avocado is the one that provides the best trade-off because it provides so much food. While trees, the albizia tree at first, which was really good for coffee production, provides 0 food and doesn't have a very good timber. So that would be one farmer could have this intention, another farmer maybe would not want timber but would want to have good working conditions with nice shading. So you would have like different recommendation for these objectives. So what works here is that, well, we can play with the tool. It's fairly easy. Then what we would like, what we haven't like done yet, is we would like to connect these names here that we can see, like the top three species, we can see them below. We'd like to connect them with existing databases to get additional information on the tree species, like the one from the World Agroforestry Center, for instance. But so far, like I'm not able to program that. I'm not a programmer, so I've been able to do this website on AirShiny, but that's a bit of my limits here. What we would like to do as well is like maybe play with languages, because playing with local languages, especially in the tropics, is something important for the farmers. There are not so many of them who know the Latin name of different tree species. So there are different things that can be improved in the design. Well, just to give you like another overview, like here in China, for instance, it's also a coffee study with different tree species. Here again, we can see on the top the best ones for coffee production, and here if farmers wants to control weed with the shade, or if they're afraid of cold waves that can kill coffee trees, here again you get like the best trade-offs that are on the top. Doesn't mean they're the best tree species, and farmers would have like to think of other things that are other criteria that are not listed here in this list, in this set of ecosystem services. But it's a good foundation to think about which shade tree species are a good match, and to discard a few that would clearly not be a good match in this case. Thank you.